Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another alternate Vintage Cube draft. Now today, I see Bring to Light, and I kind of want to try and make the 5-color deck work. But the real way that you would do that is by taking, I think, Prismatic Vista and then trying to wheel Bring to Light. Brazen Borrower, I think, is probably the best pick in this pack. Other arguable cards would be like Ranger Captain, Duress, Mana Tithe, maybe Thirst, but yeah, you know what? Let's try and draft 5-color. So we'll take Bring to Light, Pack 2 Valky. It was meant to be. So we're definitely taking Valky here. I would really like to wheel Lightning Helix out of this pack, or any fixing at all. But so we can play just a Sultai deck, and that will work and is fine. Like play Dimir and then splash green blue for Bring to Light to go get Tibalt. But we'll kind of see how this pans out, I think. I'm going to take Windswept Teeth here, because we're going to need a lot of fixing. Like, a lot. Alright. In this pack, there is Wheel of Fortune. Now, Wheel of Fortune can be incredible if we get enough cards to dump out of our hand. Like, if we get a bunch of Talismans, if we get a bunch of Mana Dorks. I kind of want to take Deathrite Shaman, though, because Deathrite Shaman produces any color of mana, and if we just get, like, 2 or 3 fetches, it's good. I'm passing, like, all of the premium 1-mana removal, because I just passed Chain Lightning, and there's a Lightning Bolt in the path, but so I have no idea if my pick order is anywhere near reasonable for the deck that I'm trying to draft. I know this is actually an archetype in this format, because Niv Mizzet is in this format. Like, the 5-color... Basically, the cards from the 5-color Niv Delight deck exist in this format. Prismari Command is pretty excellent. It's a good combat trick. It does a lot of stuff. It destroys artifacts. It makes treasures, so it can actually filter for a mana. I would rather take Wooded Foothills and see if I can wheel Prismari Command, especially because I have Deathrite Shaman, and it's a green fetch, which makes a huge difference. Because we're probably going to be green-based. But I don't know... None of the fetch lands will wheel, and it is unlikely that Prismari Command wheels, but I think I have to take the fetch land here. Raphelos is just like the highest power level card in that pack. Okay, in this pack, we have Karakas, Scrubland, Badlands. Let's see. So, Badlands would allow Wooded Foothills to get red and black. Scrubland would allow Windswept Teeth to get white and black. I think Badlands is better, but marginally so, because that lets us cast actual Tibalt if we need to. Renin 6 is fantastic for this deck, as is Kolaghan's Command. I have 2 fetch lands, so if I get a lot of fetchable lands, Renin 6 becomes amazing. Song of Creation also seems kind of fun. I'm a little bit sad to miss Kolaghan's Command, because I really want Kolaghan's Command. Just the destroy artifacts and shocks are going to be great, but I think Renin 6 is higher power level. Plus, we already have the fetch and dual base to support Renin 6 alone. We will need to prioritize fixing very highly. We don't. We should avoid cards that have multiple pips of a single color, unless it's green, probably. Okay, Plateau is pretty good. That allows Windswept Teeth to fetch red and Wooded Foothills to get white. I'm passing up Flame Slash for it. Witherbloom Command I don't think is good. Actually, the non-creature, non-land permanent might be relevant because it hits things like Soul Ring, but we'll take Plateau. I do like Duress here. Traverse the Ulvenwald is also not bad. If I take Godless Shrine, Windswept Teeth can get black. We can't fetch Wooded Foothills with this, though. I do like Duress because I feel like... Let's take the Godless Shrine. I really want to make sure our mana is just super solid. Raging Ravine is good, so is Voice of Resurgence and Chain Lightning. So I'm going to take as much fixing as I can in this pack with the intent and hope that it pays off in the next pack so we can just take whatever we want. That's the plan, anyway. Tarka is technically like some top end we could play in a deck like this. Dark Ritual maybe is good. Because we only need to Bring to Light X2 to get Valky and then flip it into Tibalt, and Dark Ritual helps us cheat that out. So I'll actually take Dark Ritual here. Sacred Foundry, we already have Plateau. I'm going to take Lightning Bolt, just because we need removal. Wear and Tear, Flame Tongue Kavu, or Razor Verge Thicket. I want to keep a mostly fetchable mana base. I think I'm going to take Wear and Tear. We will need creatures, but I think Wear and Tear is going to be better. Smokestack for the lulls. And Song of Creation. Maybe I can make Song of Creation work. Who knows? Alright. So in this pack, there's Crop Rotation, Prime Speaker Vanifar, Niv-Mizzet Reborn. I wish I was in blue, like, at all, because then I could take Mana Drain, because Mana Drain is actually pretty good. I'm going to take Niv-Mizzet. We have a pretty decent level of fixing already. There's no fetchable lands in this pack. We will be needing to take more dual color cards for Niv-Mizzet to be good, but take Niv-Mizzet. So Arid Mesa seems great, because it fetches like everything we have. Avacyn's Pilgrim wouldn't be bad. Neither would Colonnade or Copperline Gorge, but I'm going to take the fetch land. Fast Bond is fun. Manamorphose is actually good fixing in this deck, as is Growth Spiral and Explore. I think I'm going to take Growth Spiral because it's actually a 2-color card that we could hit off of Niv-Mizzet. It's ramp, unlike Manamorphose, which is just a cantrip. But we will need a blue dual that we can fetch. Hopefully by at least multiple of these. Now, I don't know about Song of Creation. It's kind of a good last-ditch effort to take over the game, but... Okay, in this pack we have... There's the Scarab God if I want a dual-colored threat. There's Probe if I want a free cantrip, which I might want just for... I thought I had some threshold mechanic. I guess Deathrite Shaman, but Marsh Flats makes our mana even better. I don't really want this Talisman. I do want blue fixing. Yeah, I'm going to take the Marsh Flats. Okay, so we have... In this pack, Liliana, Duretti, Eladamri's Call, Vindicate. I think I'm going to take Duretti. I think, on average, Duretti is going to be at least as good as Liliana in this deck, because it makes blockers, it destroys artifacts or creatures. The ult is not as relevant. Eladamri's Call, we don't actually have that many creatures, and we don't actually want to tutor some of the few creatures we do have. Eternal Witness could be good because we do have a lot of fetch lands, but hopefully something else from this pack wheels. I wouldn't mind Vindicate. I'm going to take Duretti simply because it's dual color over Lily. And I don't think we want to be discarding too many cards from our own hand here. So Indatha Triome is not a blue tri-land. Crucible of Worlds is fine. We already have Wrenn and 6 though, and we don't have Strip Mine or anything. I like a Braid. The Triome might actually be the pick, but I can't just take all lands, and Birds is ramp, so I'm going to take Birds. Okay, in this pack, Taiga is nice. It's just another fetchable dual that makes our mana base better. I would be passing up on Kitchen Finks, which is a dual-colored life-gaining card. There's nothing that's too exciting here. Like, Vivian Monster's Advocate would be nice. We don't have enough cheap spells for Mentor to be good. Everflowing Chalice, our color requirements are way too high for just colorless mana ramp. The only colorless mana ramp I would even consider in a deck like this is Soul Ring. So, we'll take Taiga. Okay, so there's Ulamog. What does Phylath do again? He's a 6 mana 5/5. When he enters the battlefield, you make a 1/1 plant creature token for each basic land you control. Well, we're probably not going to have that many basic lands. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 1/1 counters on a plant you control. The alternative is taking something like Fire Blast or Orcish Lumberjack. I could take Ulamog. I just don't have a way to cheat him out. I'll take Phylath, just because it seems like it is the most likely card to actually fit in this deck. Loam's tempting. Crop Rotation's kind of nice, but Crop Rotation's better when you're tutoring out Gaia's Cradle. I think Elspeth is reasonable. We actually have quite a bit of white lands. So I'll take Elspeth, because we're going to need some more win conditions, I think. Okay, so Copperline Gorge, Hissing Quagmire, Avacyn's Pilgrim, or Ruinous Blast. We have a lot of legendary permanents. So Wrenn and 6, Valky, Duretti, Elspeth, Niv-Mizzet, Phylath. So Ruinous Blast actually is pretty tempting here. We can exile a ton of stuff. Otherwise it's Avacyn's Pilgrim. I'll take Avacyn's Pilgrim. Avacyn's Pilgrim takes us from one color to a completely different color, which is kind of big. Blooming Marsh does make our mana better. I think I'm going to take Explore, though. Smiting Helix and such is nice, but... Arbor Elf, we have Taiga as our only forest right now. That might mean I take Beast Within. Yeah, I think Arbor Elf is one of the worst dorks we could have. I'm going to take Beast Within. All Sun's Dawn. For each color, return up to one target card of that color from your graveyard to your hand, or we take Eladamri's Call. I guess I'll take Eladamri's Call. Heartless Act, we will need some removal. And last pick, Bazaar, because no one's in Reanimator. Alright, let's get some good dual color cards that'll win the game. Okay, alright, so the real pick here is probably Nahiri, Sylvan Caryatid, Coalition Relic, or Watery Grave. Those are all reasonable picks, and I see arguments for any of them. Watery Grave is actually probably the highest priority pick because we need some blue for Growth Spiral, Niv-Mizzet, Bring to Light. And we have a couple of black fetches. Well, we have Marsh Flats that can get it. We have... Oh, is that it? Actually, we only have Marsh Flats? But Strip Mine, we have Wrenn and 6. Although I don't know if I can play a colorless land in this deck, even if it is as good as Strip Mine. We passed on Crucible, so we can't get maximum value from it. That probably means we take Caryatid or Coalition Relic. And I think it's Coalition Relic because we have 3 1-mana Mana Dorks. And Coalition Relic just really makes our mana way better. Okay, so this is way more reasonable. Breeding Pool we can get with way more lands. It's Windswept Heath. Wooded Foothills can get Breeding Pool. We're passing on Lurrus, Expressive Iteration, Savannah. But we gotta take Breeding Pool. We need blue fixing. It's the bad thing about playing a deck like this, right? Steam Vents is great, because we have several red fetches. Angrath's Rampage might actually be what I want here. It's another dual color answer that answers any singular permanent of a type that we really can't deal with. But I think this pick order, like, it's not likely to be picked early. I think I'm going to take the fixing, and then I'm good for blue fixing. Then we can just take whatever. Okay, if there was ever a Kenrith the Returned King deck, it's probably this one. Time Twister is definitely better in Storm decks, although we do have quite a bit of Mana Dorks. I don't think we can play this because we don't have a way to make... If I had Leovold, I could take Time Twister. Kenrith seems pretty great in a deck like this, but Kenrith will probably wheel. Ancient Tomb, Binding the Old Gods... If I already had Leovold, I would definitely take Time Twister. I haven't seen it either. Alright, I'm going to take Time Twister, and hopefully we wheel Binding or Kenrith. This is definitely an Omnath Locus of Creation deck if I ever saw one. Concealed Courtyard, even Showdown of the Scalds, those would be good to have on the wheel. Ketria Triome is fantastic as a good tri-land. We have enough fixing, though. Like, we don't need it. And we really need creatures and win conditions. Which probably means I'm taking Rakdos Return, or more realistically, Knight of Autumn. Yeah, I think Knight of Autumn is better. The Swiss Army Knight. Rakdos' Return's not bad, because we do have Dark Ritual, but we may not be playing Dark Ritual. Vanishing Verse, I do like. It answers any permanent that has a color. It's Orzhov colored, which means if we get a big flip off Niv-Mizzet, it's not likely to overlap with our other colors. We don't have a way to cheat out Emrakul, because I didn't take Nahiri. Creeping Tar Pit, we don't really need. So I'll take Vanishing Verse. Inspiring Vantage is not a land we need. I could take Escape to the Wilds. This is not an Armageddon deck. Elvish Mystic is the worst, one of the worst, second worst maybe, mana dork for this deck. I'm going to take Escape to the Wilds. This seems like an Escape to the Wilds deck. So our mana base is going to be basically this and at least one of every basic. This is going to be a pretty silly and interesting deck, that's for sure. I can take Nahiri, because if we ult Nahiri, we can get something like Niv-Mizzet for extreme value. Sylvan Caryatid might actually be the real pick, but I like Nahiri a lot. We don't have a lot of flicker value, I don't think. We have some with Soul Herder, but Nahiri I think is better. Savannah makes our mana better, and I don't think we can play a colorless land. I'm not super interested in Avalanche Riders. Usher of the Fallen's like mono-white only. Abundant Harvest is potentially good, but it's not as good as Savannah. We have enough playables. Like, we can figure out what to do. Angrath's Rampage coming around is fantastic. Binding the Old Gods is great. Showdown of the Scalds is not really what I'm interested in, but I will take it. Rakdos' Return is fine. And last pick, Maze of Ith, which I don't think I can play. Alright. Now it's just a matter of assembling these in a way that makes sense. Okay. So let's group creatures separately. I need to cut a lot of cards. I don't know if I'm playing Dark Ritual, but it's an extremely powerful effect. I don't think I need Eladamri's Call. Take the lands out for a second so I actually can do the math properly in my head. Sort by mana value. I don't think this is a Song of Creation deck. It's potentially very good, but I don't think it's good enough. We have quite a bit of ramp, so I actually kind of like Time Twister. Nahiri I think is just good enough. I think I'm only going to... Well, Rakdos' Return can end the game, so it's not unreasonable. I'm going to cut Heartless Act, because we have enough other removal, I think. I don't think I need Beast Within. Wear and Tear is going to be a strictly sideboard card. Even though it's a Boros-colored card, we could flip off of Niv-Mizzet. Actually, maybe I should main deck it. We do have We do have Angrass Rampage, so it's not like we can't answer an enchantment or a... Actually, we have a lot of, like, permanent destruction. So we have Night of Autumn, which is a naturalize. We have Angrass Rampage, which can get artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers. Lightning Bolt to hit creatures and planeswalkers. Vanishing Verse hits anything that's single color. Wear and Tear is artifacts or enchantments. Duretti is artifacts or creatures. Binding the Old Gods is non-land permanents. Nahiri is tapped creatures, tapped artifacts, or enchantments. This deck has the potential to actually be really good. As well as probably super terrible. I might cut Time Twister because there are a minimal number of times where Time Twister is going to be good. Like it's good on the turns where we play like 3 mana dorks and then just Time Twister. But I think on average my opponent will probably take more advantage of the draw 7 than we will, which is an issue for us running it. Okay, so we curve out at 5 mostly. We have Phylath. We have a lot of card advantage. We have a lot of ramp. So I think I'm okay playing 16 lands. This wants me to add 1 of every basic except Island, which I think is reasonable. We have no blue fetches. And we only have Breeding Pool and Steam Vents, Birds, Deathrite, Coalition Relic to get blue mana. So we do have to be a little bit careful, but I think it's fine. And that's another reason to cut Time Twister is the fact that it's blue. All right, we got ourselves a deck. Let's go 5-color Niv-Delight in limited. All right, round 1. This hand Dark Ritual's out of Duretti, but doesn't do a lot else. We have all 5 colors of our mana, but I think we mulligan. Okay, I can keep this, and I will put back... Do I put back Valky? I think I put back Valky. Yeah, I'm going to put back Valky. There is the chance that I could actually hardcast him, but odds are my opponent's going to have interaction for that. Okay, we get Birds. So Windswept Teeth, crack Windswept Teeth. We'll get a Breeding Pool. Play Birds. Pass the turn. That draw makes this hand way better because of a turn 2 Coalition Relic, potentially. Opponent plays an island, then they play a Talisman of Dominance. We untap and draw a mountain. Play a mountain. Play Coalition Relic. Pass the turn. Opponent thirsts for knowledge in their main phase. Okay, they play an island. Stop on their end step. Charge up Relic. We untap. We draw Niv-Mizzet. So we can cast Niv-Mizzet this turn. So Coalition Relic. White. Black. Red. Blue. Green. Niv-Mizzet Reborn. We get Rakdos' Return. And Wear and Tear. Alright, pass the turn. And Rakdos' Return I think is better than Duretti here. We can save Phylath for when we get a fetch land. I mean, a 5-mana 6/6 that draws you 2 cards is pretty good. But it plays an island. 2 mana, they play Talisman of Hierarchy. Then they play Urza, Lord High Artificer. Make a 3/3. We untap. I forgot to charge up Coalition Relic, so that was actually a huge deal. Play Taiga. Because now if they have Days, I can't get them empty-handed. But let's hope they don't have Days, huh? Rakdos' Return. They don't have Days. They are Storm. Good to know. Hit them for 6. Now, they could still get a pretty crazy flip off of Urza and just kill us, right? Like, they could Urza into Time Spiral, or they could top deck Time Twister because they're just really good at this game. Oh, that's absurd. Well, we got Rakdos' Return back, but we might just be dead. Opponent plays a Swamp. They currently have 5 mana. What a top deck. 5 mana. They Time Warp? Oh, we don't deserve this. Get hit for 1. I guess if I have to lose to a deck, losing to Storm isn't that bad. Because Storm's kind of like the trap deck. It doesn't normally work. They play a land. They play Baral. They Impulse. Well, at least if we lose, we know why we lost. It's because our opponent top-decked Time Twister. Alright. They got 4 cards in hand. It's not impossible for them to Storm. Okay, they hit us for 4. We go to 12. Untap. We draw Elspeth, Knight Errant. Okay. So, play a forest. Go to combat. Attack them for 6. Take them to 4. Then we Rakdos' Return them for 4. Are they wheeling with Urza and Desperation? Or do they have something? Mystic Confluence. Yep. We can't pay for it. Opponent gets to loot. There's a really, really good chance we're just dead. That was our best bet, though. They loot away an island. Alright, we pass. They play Fabled Passage. They crack Fabled Passage to thin their deck. Probably getting another swamp here. They get another island. So they may have High Tide then. And they go to combat. They attack us for 5. Take 5 and go to 7. They hard cast a Mull Drifter. They draw some cards. They have 4 mana left. Maybe I was supposed to play Raging Ravine next turn so I could have lethal attackers this turn. Because Nimbuzette doesn't have trample. They're going to turnabout themselves. That's pretty good. So they're going to say lands. Yep. Cabal Ritual with Threshold. 12 mana. I mean, if this is Time Spiral, we're probably toast. Or we're definitely toast. Glen Elandra Archmage. Sure. Tendrils of Agony for lethal. Alright. Opponent got us off the Lucky Time Twister. A hell of a draw. Okay, do we have anything versus our opponent's deck specifically that we want to bring in? I don't think so. Like, Heartless Act, maybe. But I think we're fine. We just need to have our opponent be slightly less lucky. Their deck looks pretty sweet for a Storm deck. Like, it's got draw 7s, it's got cost reducers, it has Urza and artifacts. Like, it's not a bad Storm deck. Or it's not like a deck that they incidentally have a Storm win condition or anything like that. It's a good deck. Alright, we would like to play first. We can play Night of Autumn and Vanishing Verse with this hand. I think I'm going to keep this. Start Raging Ravine. Pass the turn. Opponent starts Island. We draw Wear and Tear. Play Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp. If they play artifacts, we're just going to destroy them. Alright, we untap. We draw Taiga. So, play a Swamp. Let's go ahead and play Night of Autumn. Get 2 1/1 counters on it. Pass the turn. So we have a clock now. Opponent plays a Swamp. Plays a Lotus Petal. Cracks Lotus Petal for blue. And plays Urza. Alright, we untap. We draw a Breeding Pool. So, play Taiga. Vanishing Verse, exile Urza. We're playing this way to play around Daze. Okay, opponent floats blue. Go to combat. Kill the 1/1. Attack our opponent for 4. They go to 16. Actually, I probably should have waited to like try and... I should have played Renin 6 and down-ticked. I shouldn't have used Wear and Tear there, because my opponent's going to have other mana artifacts. Okay, they evoke a Mull Drifter. So they sack it and draw 2 cards. They play an island. Then they pass. We untap and draw Nahiri. Alright. Shock Breeding Pool. Animate Raging Ravine. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 8. They go to 8. They untap. Okay, opponent plays Talisman of Hierarchy. We draw Duretti. Presumably they have a way to deal with Raging Ravine, but go to combat. Attack for lethal. Make them do something. Cabal Ritual. 4 mana. Commit. Putting Night of Autumn back in the deck. Okay, opponent's going to 3. Opponent plays an island. They can spend all of their mana on Memory, if they want to, for some reason. Alright, we untap. We draw Godless Shrine. You know what? Let's go for it. Animate Raging Ravine. Go to combat. Attack them for 6. They're going to bounce Raging Ravine. Okay. Replay Raging Ravine. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. In situations like that is why you shouldn't always play a land pre-combat. Opponent plays a land. We could try and escape to the wilds, leaving up red mana to see if we can hit Lightning Bolt, but I don't think that's worth it. I'm going to put Spellseeker under Chrome Mox. They're going to 2. Nope, they're staying at 3. Is this a Time Twister? Okay. No Lightning Bolt, unfortunately. Opponent plays Glenelandra Archmage. Alright, we untap. We draw Windswept Teeth. So... Play Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Get a Forest. Play Phylath. Make 3 plants. And next turn we can play 3 lands and make each of those plants lethal. Opponent plays Fabled Passage. Cracks Fabled Passage. Plays a Mana Crypt. So they're intending on winning this turn, because that Mana Crypt could kill them otherwise. They play Baral. This could also just be like a massive Tendrils to If it's not lethal, at least gain them back up to a reasonable amount of life. Brain Freeze. Milling themselves. So they probably have Yawgmoth's Will. There's Tendrils and Thassa's Oracle. Because if they have Yawgmoth's Will, that's pretty disgusting, because that Brain Freeze effectively was Storm Ancestral Recall. Yeah, they didn't have it, so we get there. Fantastic. Run it back. It's a little bit slow, but we do have interaction. I'm going to keep this. If we top deck an untapped green source, this hand gets amazingly better. Opponent leads on island. We draw Binding the Old Gods. Play Raging Ravine, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp and a Lotus Petal. Cracks Lotus Petal for blue. And Time Twisters. Ultimately, that was fine. We untap. We draw Deathrite Shaman. Second green source would have made this hand way better, but we didn't get it. Oh, actually, we can play Deathrite Shaman off black mana. So, birds, Deathrite Shaman, pass the turn. If my opponent plays their fetch land, we can Rakdos return them for a lot. Okay, they untap. Next turn, we potentially have Renin 6 plus Angrath's Rampage. So if my opponent plays Urza, we can actually answer Urza. Alright, we untap. We draw a Breeding Pool. Play Mountain. Make our opponent sack an artifact. They're going to Impulse in response. Okay. And we've played a land this turn. So we need to decide on whether it is more important to exile our opponent's Time Twister or play Renin 6. And I think I'm more willing to play Renin 6. Because opponent is a bit off of Storming. I'll take Renin 6 to 4. Pass the turn. Yeah, might as well attack for one, I guess. Opponent goes to 19. They play an island. They play Urza. They make a construct. I would really like to draw a fetch land here. We untap and draw Valky. Downtick Renin 6, kill the construct. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so we can make our opponent discard 3 cards. Alright, Shock Breeding Pool. I think we need to do this. Like, it's really bad if they can find a Time Twister effect, but if they discard a land, we can get an additional mana off Deathrite, and that would let me play Valky next turn. They discard Thassa's Oracle, Mystic Confluence, and Brain Freeze. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent plays Chrome Mox, exiling nothing, because they can just tap it with Urza. They cast Time Warp off of Urza. They untap. This gives them a redraw. They might have to spin Urza again. They play a land. They're going to Venser and bounce Deathrite. Well, that means no Valky next turn. They attack us. I was going to say, they attack Renin 6, right? They attack us. Okay. Take 1, go to 17. We untap. We draw Knight of Autumn. We do have white mana. And I think our best bet is just taxing what our opponent is doing as much as possible. So, white, green, whatever. Play Knight of Autumn. Naturalize. Play Steam Vents. Untapped. Play Deathrite Shaman. They only have 1 card left, and I'm trying to think of what creatures we know they have. The only one I haven't seen is Glenalandra, I think, which would be an issue. Actually, if it is Glenalandra, that's incredible. So, yeah, we are going to cast out Valky here. If their last card in hand's Glenalandra, we just turn Valky into Glenalandra and then have it. They have Turnabout. Okay. Uptick Renin 6. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw a card. They hardcast Muldrifter off of Urza's Flip, which just completely reloads their hand. That's actually a huge problem. They play Fabled Passage. There's no reason for them to crack it before it gets to our turn, because we might need the mana for something. We untap. We draw Wear and Tear, which doesn't do anything. Uptick Renin 6. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Fabled Passage. Gets a Swamp. They untap. They draw. They're going to spin Urza again. They hit Cabal Ritual. We can't turn off Threshold with Deathrite. Opponent gets 5 mana. They're going to spin Urza again. They hit an island. Alright. Very merciful. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks Renin 6 for 2. No blocks. Renin 6 goes down to 3. So we're going to exile Thassa's Oracle. Untap. We draw an Explore. Play Explore. Get a Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Sack Windswept Teeth. Get a Savannah. Pick up Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Sack it, and we'll get a Taiga. I could animate Raging Ravine, but if I do... actually, I'm going to, like, green, red, green. Go to combat. Attack for 4. We have access to Wear and Tear, or we can activate Deathrite, but this pressures my opponent's life total in a meaningful way. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play an island. They go to combat. They attack Ren and 6. They attack us. Nope. They're attacking us. Okay. No blocks. Take 2, go down to 13. Okay, on my opponent's end step, we're going to exile Brain Freeze. Make them lose life. Deathrite Shaman is just too good. It does everything. It's Grave Hate, it's Life Gain, it's a Grim Lavamancer, it's a Mana Dork. We draw a Vanishing Verse. Uptick Ren and 6. Pick up Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Let's get a Plateau. Animate Raging Ravine. Go to combat. Turnabout, they're going to tap all of our creatures. So in response, we're going to exile Urza. Then we're going to exile Time Twister from their grave. Alright, they tap our guys, so we just pass. There's nothing else we can do this turn. They untap. They Brainstorm. They go to combat, attack us for 4. We go down to 8. They play a Lotus Petal. They Dark Petition. They have just enough to kill me with Tendrils, don't they? 3 spells. Yep, that's exactly lethal. How unfortunate. Well, that was a very, very long round 1. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, we're on the play for round 2. And unfortunately, I don't think we can keep this hand. We only have 1 playable card, so we got a mulligan. This hand is better, but only slightly. I'm going to put back Night of Autumn. We'll lead on a Plains, pass the turn. So the plan is to play Duretti, then play Nahiri, and hopefully play Niv-Mizzet, but that's kind of a tall order. It really depends on what we draw. Opponent starts with a Stirring Wildwood. Play a Swamp. I'm going to play around Wasteland and Strip Mine as much as I can. Opponent plays a Mountain, so they are at least Naya colored. They play Lotus Cobra. We untap and draw Raging Ravine, so Shock Steam Vents. Play Duretti. Make a Defender. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Okay, opponent does have a fetch land. They play Soul Ring, and they're playing something that is 4 mana. Teferi, Time Raveler. They're going to bounce our token. They go to combat. They attack Duretti for 2. He goes down to 2. We untap, we draw Marsh Flats. Uptick Duretti, make a token. We are going to cast Nahiri this turn. The question is, are we down-ticking to get rid of Soul Ring, or are we down-ticking to get rid of Lotus Cobra? And I think the answer is Lotus Cobra. Duretti can actually snipe the artifact, regardless of whether or not it's tapped. Lotus Cobra presents more mana next turn. If my opponent has an untapped land or a, even worse, a fetch land, they could potentially get up to like 3 additional mana in a turn. Opponent fetches a basic island. They add red. And they untap. They draw. Marsh Flats does let us cast Niv-Mizzet next turn. Opponent upticks Teferi to 2. 4 mana. They change their mind. They play an island. They play Felidar Guardian. They flicker Teferi. Teferi gonna unsummon the construct, presumably. Yep. Okay, so we can't deny the mana. We do need to kill this Felidar Guardian because it actually kind of presents a threat. So, loot with Nahiri. Discarding a Marsh Flats. We draw Savannah. Play Savannah. White, black, green, blue, red. Play Niv-Mizzet. Go digging deep. We get Rakdos's Return, Growth Spiral, Ren and 6, and Binding the Old Gods. Oh, you can only sacrifice artifacts. You can't actually sack creatures. I thought you could. Make a construct. Pass the turn. Well, We didn't have a way to make an artifact we could sack anyway, so hopefully my opponent doesn't just have, like, Kiki Jiki or something. Or Splinter Twin. Or Saheeli Rai. Yeah. Infinite cats, I get it. I may want Heartless Act in this matchup, and it's probably better than Dark Ritual. Let's try it like this. Alright, I would like to play first. We have no green mana. I think I have to mulligan. We do need some early plays, or at least the ability to interact. This is fine-ish. So I will keep... I'm going to put back the Forest, and we will start Godless Shrine tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Fabled Passage to start. We'll play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Fabled Passage for a Forest. They untap. They play Stirring Wildwood and pass. Fetch with Windswept Teeth. We'll get a Breeding Pool tapped. We untap. We draw Niv Mizzet. Play Plateau. Play Coalition Relic. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays Recruiter of the Guard. They go search in their library for Kiki Jiki. Okay. Charge up Coalition Relic. Untap. Draw Raging Ravine. So Coalition Relic will add blue mana. Then we can go white, black, green, red. Play Niv Mizzet. Dig deep. Play Raging Ravine. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays out a Soul Ring. Plays Saheeli Rai. They're going to make a copy of Recruiter of the Guard. They get a Lotus Cobra. Play Lotus Cobra. Then they pass, exiling their token. We draw Arid Mesa, no charge counters to take off Coalition Relic. So go to combat. Kill Saheeli. Play a Swamp. Play Nahiri. Take out Soul Ring. Pass the turn, leave up Heartless Act. Opponent untaps. They play Prismatic Vista. They're going to add red mana. Yep. They crack Prismatic Vista. They get a mountain. Add red mana. They're going to play Deceiver Exarch, untapping an island. Then they're going to cast Kiki Jiki. Okay. Kill Kiki Jiki. They do get to make a copy of Deceiver Exarch once. They untap their island. So they can kill Nahiri and then hit us for 2 if they want. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. So, Nahiri down. We untap. They lose their Deceiver Exarch. We draw Steam Vents. Okay, so let's Growth Spiral. Put Arid Mesa into play. Go to combat. Attack for 6. When it goes to 13, we'll play a Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land, adds white mana. They have Splinter Twin, so we Vanishing Verse. Opponent just has everything. Absolutely everything. This is one of the best Kiki Jiki Splinter Twin combo decks I have ever seen in my entire life. They attack us for 3. Okay. No blocks, take 3. And opponent plays Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. Charge up Coalition Relic. Crack Arid Mesa. Get Taiga. Untap. We draw. Rakdos' Return. Okay. Always yield. Add red. Target player sacks an artifact. Red-black. So they lose Sword. They have 1 card in hand, which hopefully isn't enough to just kill us. I'm going to animate Raging Ravine, and that way, even if they have a board wipe, we can Rakdos return them to death next turn. Go to combat. Attack for 10. Take them to 3. Pass the turn. An opponent scoops. Yeah, we only won because we had literally every answer to the combo that we could possibly have had. Except maybe Beast Within. I'm going to bring in Beast Within, and I'm actually going to drop Elspeth, Knight Errant. We'll try it like this. So we need to do something really powerful before my opponent just immediately assembles the Splinter Twin combo. This might count as something powerful, so I'm going to keep this. Opponent leads on Celestial Colonnade. We untap and draw Heartless Act. Play Avacyn's Pilgrim. Pass the turn. I would really like to just draw lands at this point so we could play Omnath. Opponent plays Tithe Taker. We untap and draw Savannah. So, play Savannah. Pass the turn. I would have had to fetch and shock for Godless Shrine if I wanted to play Valky this turn. I don't think it's worth it. Opponent plays an island. They play Saheeli Rai. So, I can't cast Heartless Act. I actually can't really do anything. So, just let this happen because we can't do anything else about it. Opponent scries with Saheeli Rai. We're probably going to have to play Binding the Old Gods to destroy Saheeli Rai this upcoming turn here. We draw Coalition Relic, which I would much rather play this turn if I could, but I can't. So, fetch with Windswept Teeth. We need to get black mana, which means we need to get Godless Shrine. Untapped. Play Binding the Old Gods. Destroy Saheeli Rai. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. We don't have red mana for Omnath. Opponent plays Soul Ring. They hit us for 2, we go to 12. Untap. We draw Vanishing Verse. Get Taiga. Play Coalition Relic. I could just wear and tear the Soul Ring. I'm going to do that on my opponent's upkeep, I think. Or now if they're tapping out for something. Alright, yep. Let's wear the Soul Ring now that they've tapped out. Okay. Opponent flickers Tithe Taker. Or they don't flicker Tithe Taker. Yeah, if I had waited till my opponent's turn, Tithe Taker would have actually taxed that wear, so I'm really glad they tapped out there. They fetch for a forest. They play Lotus Cobra, which is the increasingly annoying creature that we constantly have to deal with. They attack us for 5. We go to 7. I'd like to draw a fetch land here. We draw Duretti. So, Avacyn's Pilgrim gains Death Touch, which is not very useful. We can play Duretti and we can Vanishing Verse. We can sack Coalition Relic. It's not great. But it might be what we have to do. The alternative is using all of our instant speed removal to mitigate what our opponent's got going on here. So I can like Heartless Act, kill Resto, Vanishing Verse, or exile Lotus Cobra. And then I have to like chump next turn. So kill Lotus Cobra, exile Resto. I tap for this. No, I didn't. I had to tap this way. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent only has 1 card left in hand. As long as we draw a land, we can start gaining life again. If we draw a fetch land, we can gain life and play more things. Opponent has Avalanche Riders. That's distressing. But it's not the end of the world, actually. We just need to draw more lands now. They kill Godless Shrine. They attack us for 4. Definitely not worth trading here. We're going to 3. Come on, land. Bolt. Okay. So let me think about this. If I play Omnath and play Bolt, we can survive. I'll Bolt the Giver of Runes, so they can't just swing past our creatures. I give Tithe Taker protection. I guess I should have started by playing Omnath, but white, green, blue, red. Omnath. Land, please. There it is. Raging Ravine, we are out of the danger zone. Pass the turn. Now opponent has to pay the Echo cost. They don't have Resto, because we actually answered that. So they don't pay the Echo because they have something else they want to play. Sylvan Library. Seems reasonable. We untap. We draw Badlands. Okay. Play Badlands. Gain life. We have 7 mana, so here comes Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter. Uptick Tybalt. Okay, we can't play anything yet. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 4. If they want to draw extra cards off of Sylvan Library, it's really, really going to tax their life total, which hopefully we can pressure enough. Okay, opponent plays Sword of Fire and Ice. They equip Tithe Taker. They are attacking us. So we take 4, and they're going to shoot us and draw a card. We untap. We draw Steam Vents. Okay. Uptick Tybalt. There's Splinter Twin, which we don't currently have a use for. Play Plateau. Gain life. Black, red, whatever. Play Duretti. Play Talisman of Unity. Downtick Duretti, destroy Sword. Sacking Talisman of Unity. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 4. They go to 11. They untap. Sylvan Library. And opponent scoops the match. That was close. We got really lucky in that second match there because we just drew all of our answers for creatures, and we're thankfully able to interrupt the combo every time. But yeah, I'll see you guys in round 3. Alrighty. Round 3 will be on the draw. Opponent revealed Lutri, which is free to run in this format because it's cube. Opponent leads on Misty Rainforest, cracks it for an Underground Sea. Looking like Storm right now. Thoughtseize. Okay. Opponent probably takes Coalition Relic or Rakdos's Return. I imagine it's Coalition Relic, though. Yep. Okay. We untap, draw Binding the Old Gods, play Raging Ravine, pass the turn. This could be control as well. Lutri is a good, like, random control card if you can play it. They play Swift Spear. Alright. We do need to draw black mana. Play a mountain, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They attack us for 1. We go to 18. Blue-red, they play Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, and a Wandering Fumarole. We draw a Breeding Pool. Yeah, we're going to save life because our opponent is being aggressive right now. So we are going to reveal information by playing the Breeding Pool as opposed to the planes our opponent knows about. 4 mana, opponent plays Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Okay, I would really like to draw black mana. That would be swell. Okay, they add mana. They cast Shrine of Burning Rage. They hit us for 3. Take 3, go to 15. We untap. We draw Dark Ritual, which is almost black mana, but not. Play Nahiri. We are going to exile Monastery Swiftspear. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to loot with Jace, discarding a mountain. They untap. Shrine of Burning Rage ticks up. And they loot with Jace, ditching Prismatic Vista. Okay, they uptick into a Hellrider, which they can play and kill Nahiri. Charging up Shrine of Burning Rage. We really have to draw black mana this turn, or we're just going to die to Chandra. Okay. We untap. We draw Niv Mizzet, which is not black mana. And, yeah, I'm going to scoop. That's the first mana problem we've had. So, bringing in Heartless Act for sure. We are going to cut... I'm actually going to cut Dark Ritual. We have enough black sources that I'm not actually worried about it. Between Swamp, Godless Shrine, Marsh Flats, Badlands, like, we should be fine. It's just we got our only fixing Thoughtseize turn 1. Alright, we will play first. That's the bad part about playing non-land color fixing, is it can be interacted with and potentially color screw you. Alright, I do like this. So we can lead on Badlands into Deathrite Shaman, which I think is pretty fantastic. That way we don't have to fetch up Godless Shrine. Pass the turn. Deathrite Shaman should be quite good against my opponent's deck, because it can gain us life as well as ramp us. Opponent leads on Island Ponder. Okay. They play Mox Diamond, discarding Lava Claw Reaches, into a Swift Spear. No attacks. We untap. We draw Escape to the Wilds. Play Savannah, pass the turn. So now we have Vanishing Verse, or we can Growth Spiral. Opponent untaps. They play a Wandering Fumarole. They go to combat. Attack for 1. No blocks. Take 1. And they're going to play Phyrexian Revoker. So, exile Lava Claw Reaches. Add blue mana. Growth Spiral. We'll put Plateau in. Then we can Vanishing Verse to kill Swiftspear. Okay. Phyrexian Revoker enters the battlefield. They probably named Deathrite Shaman, because it does everything. Yep. We untap. We draw Renin 6. So, play Windswept Heath. We can either play Nahiri and tax their Mox Diamond, or we can play Renin 6 and kill Phyrexian Revoker and have access to Deathrite Shaman again. I think we play Nahiri and go for the mana tax on them here. So we should get Breeding Pool to have access to blue, even though it does cost us life. Play Nahiri. Exile Mox Diamond. Pass the turn. If we have to, we can just block Revoker too. Opponent plays a Badlands. They're going to bounce Deathrite Shaman, then kill Nahiri. Okay. Nahiri down. We untap. We draw Coalition Relic. Play Coalition Relic. Play Renin 6. Kill Revoker. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They thought seize us, so they can take Escape to the Wilds. They can take Deathrite Shaman. They take Escape to the Wilds. We untap. We draw Avacyn's Pilgrim. No counters on Coalition Relic to speak of. Uptick, picking up Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Play Deathrite Shaman. Play Avacyn's Pilgrim. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. And are now passing. Charge up Relic. Crack Windswept Teeth. Get a Godless Shrine tapped. Untap. We draw Knight of Autumn. Add white mana. Uptick red and 6. Pick up Windswept Teeth. Play Windswept Teeth. Crack it. Get a Taiga. Play Knight of Autumn. Just make a big knight. And then go to combat. Attack for 1. Take our opponent to 17. Pass the turn. So opponent's going to flash in Brazen Borrower. Yep. That's fine. They untap. They play a mountain. Go to combat. Attack us for 3. Sure. So this is Fallen Shinobi. That's kind of a big deal. They get to exile the top 2 cards of their deck. Which is Angrath's Rampage and Steam Vents. Thankfully, not too punishing. They're going to make us sack a Planeswalker. Well, that is annoying. So we lose Wrenn and 6. Make our opponent lose life, I think. I forgot to charge up Relic. I always forget that. We draw Heartless Act. So, kill Fallen Shinobi. Opponent Force of Negation. Pitching Negate. Alright. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 4. Opponent can pre-combat disperse Avacyn's Pilgrim to attack with Fallen Shinobi, but then we do block with Deathrite Shaman in that case. They play a island, so they can both disperse and then flash Brazen Borrower. Yep, Petty Theft. Bouncing Pilgrim. They go to combat. Attack for 5. Got a chump. So let's go ahead and gain life this time. Okay, on my opponent's end step, charge up Relic. We untap. Draw Arid Mesa. Add black. Play Pilgrim. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Hit our opponent down to 7. Yeah, I'm going to play out Arid Mesa because I'm probably going to thin my deck here. Really tired of drawing lands. Opponent's going to flash in Brazen Borrower. Next turn, if they draw nothing, they'll put Lutri into their hand, but hopefully they draw nothing. Hellrider is not nothing. So they go to combat. They attack for a lot. We take a lot. Block here. Opponent is dead to top deck Lightning Bolt. Charge up Coalition Relic. We untap. I think it has to be exactly Lightning Bolt. It is not. That was close. Yeah, I think I misplayed. Probably shouldn't have attacked with that knight and given my opponent the opportunity to... Wasn't that game 1? Did I concede match? Wait a minute. What happened? I completely lost track of that in my mind. Huh. No, I O2'd. Okay. Alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Remember, you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The last few times have been earlier than that. I did try to make the 5-color archetype work, and I think our deck was actually quite powerful. We got a little bit unlucky on a couple of occasions, got luckier in a couple of other occasions, so it is possible, and that's how you do it. So... yeah, you guys are all wonderful human beings. I really appreciate your support and your understanding, as I am kind of busy right now, and I understand, like, you know, I can't respond to everybody who's messaging me, and I'm still working on the thing. I have had a little bit more time because there's been a lag, and so it's still ongoing. But you're all wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of June. If you want to have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description below. Thank you all.